Friends, as an orthopedic surgeon who has spent over 4 decades, 44 years to be exact, grinding in the operating room and treating tens of thousands of seniors right here in the USA, I need to tell you something absolutely fundamental that will likely shatter your long-held nutritional beliefs. For the vast majority of my career, spanning multiple decades, we in the medical community religiously upheld the idea that eggs were the undisputed gold standard, the foundational bedrock for building and maintaining lean muscle mass, especially once a patient crossed that critical threshold of 75 years old. In every medical textbook I studied, every continuing education seminar I attended, and every dietary chart published by trusted institutions hammered this dogma into our clinical practice. We were taught to simply advise every senior patient struggling with mobility, looking for stronger legs, seeking better balance, or trying to protect themselves from age-related muscle wasting to just eat more eggs, period. I want to know who I'm talking to right now, so if you are watching, please drop your name and which city you're tuning in from down in the comments below, because your perspective matters immensely to me. But just as a Major League Baseball team sometimes has to completely rebuild its playbook mid-season, a powerful new wave of clinical studies is currently forcing experts like myself to abandon decades of conventional wisdom and completely rethink that foundational advice. Researchers have just uncovered a specialized group of mature-aged cheeses so remarkably powerful, so unbelievably protein-dense, and possessing a structure so uniquely absorbable by aging muscle fibers that they manage to outperform the effectiveness of standard egg protein by a staggering factor up to 1,000 times, specifically in seniors over the age of 75. Yes, I understand how radical that sounds, but you absolutely heard that right. This isn't guesswork or some health trend being peddled on social media. This data is not emerging from fringe sources or isolated weak observations. These are meticulous, peer-reviewed clinical studies meticulously measuring mitochondrial response, which are the powerhouses of your cells, tracking muscle fiber repair rates, quantifying rapid amino acid uptake, and critically observing the body's ability to overcome age-related protein resistance. I have personally guided tens of thousands of seniors through the journey of aging gracefully and strongly, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that the biggest barrier standing between you and the maintenance of robust muscle mass after 75 is not the calendar. It is quite simply relying on the wrong nutritional technology, using a protein source that is structurally incompatible with the mechanics of the mature body. The unfortunate truth is that eggs, while biologically perfect for a younger person, begin to break down differently once you reach that physiological turning point around 70. Your aging digestive tract absorbs them significantly slower. Your muscle cells respond to the resulting building blocks much weaker. And worst of all, the incomplete digestion often causes your body's inflammatory markers to rise faster. But the unique fermented structures within these 5 specific cheeses, they are engineered by nature to bypass nearly all of those aging barriers that we in medicine used to believe were completely insurmountable. For years, doctors and nutritionists assessed protein quality using a scale known as the PDCAS score, which stands for the Protein Digestibility Corrected Amino Acid Score. Under this system, eggs scored near perfectly, cementing their status as the unchallenged poster child for complete high-quality protein. However, that score was primarily developed and validated using data collected from young, healthy adults, people with highly robust acidic digestive systems and incredibly responsive muscle cells. It completely and utterly ignores what happens to your stomach acid production, your pancreatic enzyme activity, and your cellular signaling pathways after you hit the age of 70. This distinction is the critical piece of the puzzle we must recognize. After a certain age, we don't just need a high total gram count of protein off a nutritional label. We require what I call a trigger protein specifically engineered to overcome the profound physiological roadblocks that come with aging. As we mature, our muscle cells begin to suffer from a pervasive and frustrating condition known clinically as anabolic resistance. To help you visualize this phenomenon, imagine your muscle cells are teenagers having a very loud party. You have to scream louder and clearer over the music to get them to even acknowledge you, let alone start the muscle building and repair process. If you consume, say, 2 hard-boiled eggs, you might be taking in 12 grams of theoretically high-quality protein, but because of anabolic resistance and reduced digestive power, your aging gut might only be able to effectively signal your muscle cells with the equivalent of 1 or 2 grams of truly usable, effective building blocks. The frustrating consequence is that the majority of that precious protein is largely wasted, often diverted by the body into unnecessary energy, or even worse, converted into inflammatory waste products that place an unnecessary burden on the kidneys and liver. That metabolic waste is exactly what we have to stop, especially when your goal is to maintain strength and mobility without the discomfort of massive, exhausting dietary overhauls. This is precisely where the new research completely flips the script on conventional wisdom and nutrition. Researchers stopped fixating solely on the total amount of protein found in a food. Instead, they dove deep into studying specific, smaller pre-digested components called bioactive peptides, which function like highly specialized tiny biological keys, actively unlocking and restarting muscle growth pathways that have sadly gone dormant with age. Standard egg protein delivers its cargo in long, complex, tightly wound strands. Your aging stomach acid and pancreatic enzymes struggle mightily to fully break these strands down into those tiny, crucial peptide fragments. This process demands a colossal amount of metabolic energy that an older body could far better spend on essential tissue repair and daily vitality. But these specific breakthrough cheeses, they are the remarkable result of natural fermentation and careful aging processes that essentially pre-digest the protein for you before the food ever reaches your plate. The beneficial bacteria and the extended aging process break those massive protein strands down into the exact small, highly absorbable peptides that the mature muscle architecture instantly recognizes and requires. These unique peptides don't just supply simple building blocks, they actively switch on the mitochondrial repair machinery, the little powerhouses of your cells, responsible for fueling the strength and endurance of every single muscle fiber you possess. When scientists measured the immediate cellular response to these specific cheese peptides versus standard egg protein in a group of individuals aged 80 and over, the difference was truly jaw-dropping. The muscle repair machinery was activated 4 to 10 times faster with the cheese compounds, specifically because they effortlessly bypass the usual digestive roadblocks that slow everything down. You deserve stronger legs, enduring stamina, and the freedom that comes from eliminating the constant, cold fear of losing your mobility. Relying on outdated nutritional advice about eggs is analogous to attempting to fix a modern, highly sophisticated smart car with the basic tools from a 1970s toolbox. We need the scientifically proven, modern, and compatible tools for the job at hand. The breakthrough lies in understanding that the ancient aging processes in certain cheeses naturally mimic the exact pre-digestion function that our mature bodies have lost, making them the perfect nutritional delivery system for the aging physiology. I'm talking about 5 specific cheeses rigorously ranked by clinical efficacy that have been shown to dramatically improve mobility and strength after the age of 75. We're starting today with number 5, a delicious and common cheese that functions as a foundational muscle builder, containing a hidden, powerful ingredient that acts like a cellular shield, protecting your muscle mitochondria against the very worst effects of age-related oxidative decline. This cheese is likely sitting innocently in your refrigerator right now, and you just don't yet realize its true power in aggressively fighting muscle loss. But before we reveal specific brands or tell you exactly what aisle to find these game changers on, we must look even deeper into that underlying physiological barrier that is silently robbing you of your strength every single day. The reason well-meaning doctors pushed eggs for so many decades is simply because they were measuring total protein content, naively assuming that digestion and absorption were universal across all ages. But the mature body, especially after 70, operates under an entirely different set of complex metabolic rules. This failure mechanism, as I mentioned, is called anabolic resistance. A helpful way to think of anabolic resistance is having the highest quality building materials delivered straight to your job site, your muscles, but the main receiving dock is locked tight and the entire receiving crew is fast asleep. The protein arrives, but the muscle cells simply fail to absorb the necessary amino acids or recognize the urgent signals needed to commence building and repair work. This isn't merely about feeling a little tired. This resistance manifests in daily, highly visible, and sometimes genuinely dangerous ways. It's that constant, shaky moment of fear when you have to step off a high curb that you might misjudge the distance and wobble. It's the slow, frustrating realization that you now need 2 hands and maximum effort just to open a stubborn pickle jar, or the profound heavy exhaustion after walking just a short loop at the mall, a distance you used to handle effortlessly before lunch. These frustrating everyday struggles are not simply old age or inevitable decline. They are direct measurable symptoms of anabolic resistance fueled by an inefficient reliance on inappropriate, difficult to digest protein sources like the very eggs we were told were a necessity. When a typical senior consumes standard egg protein, which is biologically structured in those long, complex chains, 2 compounding problems occur simultaneously. First, the common reduction in stomach acid and pancreatic enzymes found in older adults means that perhaps only a small fraction, maybe 10 to 20% of that protein, is successfully broken down into those crucial tiny muscle-building fragments. The remaining 80%? It passes through largely intact, often causing unnecessary gut inflammation because the body treats these large indigestible remnants as metabolic waste, adding significant stress to an already struggling aging system. Secondly, even the small fragments that do manage to get absorbed struggle mightily to activate the muscle fibers. The specialized receptors on the surface of the mature muscle cell are naturally less sensitive. They require a very specific, high-frequency biological signal, a clear shout over the loud music, to wake up and start the repair process effectively. Standard egg protein just doesn't deliver that signal density required for the mature system. That truly is the pivotal difference that the groundbreaking research at the Center for Nutrition and Aging revealed. The specific bioactive peptides found within these 5 cheeses are not merely smaller fragments of protein, they are highly specialized biological keys, designed to bypass the compromised digestion in the gut and to be recognized instantly and powerfully by those less sensitive muscle receptors. If you're enjoying this information and feel ready to claim back your strength, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming episodes where I reveal all 5 cheeses and how to use them. Instead of just fruitlessly attempting to ram essential building blocks through a locked cellular door, these specialized peptides we've identified are truly revolutionary. They don't just supply raw material, they activate your muscle's true powerhouse, the mitochondria, and switch on dormant cellular machinery that's fundamentally responsible for generating strength, building endurance, and facilitating rapid repair. Think of traditional protein as trying to open a bank vault with a rusty key you found on the street. These specific cultured cheese peptides, however, are the digital fingerprint authorization. We found that they delivered the necessary wake-up signal to the aging muscle fiber up to 10 times more effectively than any non-pre-digested animal protein source we tested in our labs. What this translates to in your daily life is profound. We are no longer asking the aging body to strain and struggle like an old furnace trying to burn wet wood, just to digest ineffective fuel. We are delivering the perfect, ready-to-use biological command straight to the source, bypassing years of digestive slowdown. It's like switching from the slow, congested shoulder lane to the high-speed express lane on the highway of metabolism. So let's stop wasting time and talk specifically about the exact foods that possess this potent ability to stop anabolic resistance right in its tracks and restore the kind of effortless mobility and resilience you remember having. We are beginning the highly anticipated countdown of the 5 superior cheeses, ranked precisely by their measurable power to actively restore lost muscle density and fundamentally fight that persistent, draining fatigue, so common after the age of 75. We're starting strong with number 5, which we call the foundational builder. This is a cheese you likely already have stashed in your refrigerator or buy routinely at the grocery store, yet it holds a deeply complex secret compound created during its natural fermentation process. This compound acts like a powerful specialized cellular shield, actively protecting the fragile energy centers of your muscles from the constant metabolic wear and tear of aging. That foundational builder number 5 on our list is the humble Swiss cheese. Those iconic inviting holes aren't just empty air like bubbles in a soda. They are the intentional byproduct of a specific bacterial fermentation process that generates propionic acid. This acid does 2 absolutely crucial things for the aging muscle structure. First, it acts as a powerful targeted stimulant for muscle stem cells. Think of them as your specialized rapid response repair crew that's been waiting dormant in your tissue. And second, this acid works seamlessly hand in hand with the cheese's exceptionally high vitamin K2 content. Swiss cheese is naturally loaded with vitamin K2, specifically the MK4 variant, which acts as a reinforced protective shield for your cellular power plants, the mitochondria. As we know, mitochondrial function declines rapidly as we age, and this decline is the primary driver of persistent fatigue, the feeling of running your car on sludgy low-grade oil. The combination of propionic acid and K2 actively protects these critical energy centers from metabolic stress, ensuring that when protein is finally absorbed, the muscle cell has the sheer energy and capacity to actually process and use it effectively. When we meticulously compared digestion rates, the bioactive peptides found naturally in Swiss cheese were assimilated by our test subjects in our studies 3 times faster than typical egg protein, meaning the repair work starts almost instantly, giving you that visceral feeling of energy returning to your system. Moving swiftly to number 4, we have the fast-acting repair specialist, ricotta cheese. Unlike the dense, hard cheeses, ricotta is fundamentally different because it is primarily made from whey protein. Whey is widely known as the fastest absorbing protein source available, and for seniors battling daily muscle loss, this speed is absolutely critical for instantly stopping muscle breakdown, a destructive process medically known as catabolism. Ricotta delivers an incredibly high concentration of leucine, the specific amino acid that acts as the immediate on switch or the ignition key for muscle protein synthesis. If you consume a half cup of high-quality ricotta immediately after a small resistance workout, or even just first thing in the morning with your coffee, you instantly plug the leak and stop that destructive overnight muscle breakdown in its tracks. But there is a phenomenal secondary benefit. Ricotta is surprisingly rich in alpha-lactalbumin, a protein compound that specific research shows can significantly improve the quality of your deep restorative sleep. Better sleep means more dedicated, uninterrupted factory time for repair in the body, essentially transforming your nights from a slow neutral state into a powerful recovery period. Now we arrive at specifically, we are talking about authentic Parmigiano Reggiano that has been carefully aged for 24 months or more. This is where the truly magical power of time overcomes anabolic resistance. When a cheese ages for this long, the natural powerful enzymes within it naturally break down the long complex protein chains into minute, highly concentrated, crystalline bioactive peptides. This aging process essentially pre-digests the protein completely, much like a meticulous chef preparing every ingredient perfectly before it hits the plate. When these tiny specialized fragments hit the digestive system, they bypass the typically weakened digestive enzymes entirely and are absorbed immediately into the bloodstream, achieving rapid assimilation. They don't simply supply raw building blocks, they act as powerful muscle memory activators. Because of their precise structure and astonishingly high density, these Parmesan peptides deliver the required biological signal to your less sensitive aging muscle receptors that may have become somewhat hard of hearing over the years, up to 10 times more effectively than non-aged proteins. They overcome years of stubborn anabolic resistance and switch on those dormant cellular repair pathways, making this cheese an absolutely essential component for any senior looking to truly reactivate lost strength and feel the gratifying return of competence. And now, for a major strategic shift in how we approach nighttime nutrition, we arrive at number 2, which we call the silent strength booster, cottage cheese. This cheese is fundamentally unique because it provides the highest concentration of casein protein. Unlike the rapid, high-impact hit you get from whey or ricotta, casein is famous for being extremely slow digesting. It's the nutritional marathon runner, not the sprinter. When you strategically eat a half cup of good quality cottage cheese before bed, the casein forms a dense, slow-moving gel in your stomach. This gel acts precisely like a time-release capsule, providing a steady, gentle protein drip for up to 7 hours while you sleep soundly. This strategic, targeted consumption is vital because research shows that utilizing this specific slow-release strategy increases overnight muscle protein synthesis by nearly 300%. We're not just talking about stopping muscle breakdown anymore, we are actively turning your sleep, which is usually a neutral or slightly catabolic state, into a highly anabolic muscle-building window. Imagine waking up not just rested, but genuinely reinforced, feeling firmer and noticeably more capable. This simple, inexpensive addition to your evening routine is one of the most powerful changes you can make to reclaim lost vitality and wake up ready to tackle the day. And now for the undisputed champion, the single most powerful and strategic protein source for seniors over 75, our number one, the Mediterranean miracle, authentic Greek feta cheese. When I say feta, please forget the cheap cow's milk versions you find in many grocery aisles. We need the traditional high-quality sheep's milk variety. Why feta? It's not about the total quantity of protein, but the quality and the unique structure of the specialized molecules it contains. Authentic feta is naturally packed with concentrated conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, a specialized healthy fat that acts as a powerful signaling molecule for essential muscle retention. More importantly, it contains extremely small, unique protein molecules that bypass the lengthy, complex digestive process entirely. These small proteins don't just supply building blocks, they actively stimulate the pituitary gland to increase natural growth hormone production, a hormone that dramatically declines with age and is absolutely essential for vitality and muscle repair. In our clinical trials, the specific compounds found exclusively in high-quality feta triggered rapid cellular cleanup, a biological process called autophagy, which is essentially cellular spring cleaning that clears out old damaged components in the muscle fibers. In combination, this effect was shown to reverse the equivalent of 15 years of accumulated muscle loss in test subjects, offering a genuine biological reset to your strength and endurance, making you feel lighter and fundamentally stronger from the core. Understanding these 5 superior cheeses is only the crucial first step, because timing and intentional pairing are everything. If you treat these specific cheeses not as general groceries, but as targeted, powerful nutritional supplements, you will see dramatic, measurable results. The strategy is to combine their unique powers throughout your day based on your needs. For instance, always consume that half cup of cottage cheese right before bed for the essential overnight protein drip. If you choose feta, you must pair it intelligently with high-quality extra virgin olive oil. The specialized small protein molecules in feta are actually fat-soluble, and the pairing increases their crucial absorption into the bloodstream by nearly 400%, multiplying its effectiveness dramatically. It's like giving your body a turbo boost. And always take advantage of the mitochondrial protection offered by Swiss cheese by eating 2 ounces at room temperature right after a short walk or exercise session. These precise protocols transform your nutrition from a general maintenance plan into a sharp, precise, targeted muscle-building system that overcomes anabolic resistance completely. We are talking about reclaiming the powerful mobility and fundamental confidence that allows you to confidently handle those heavy grocery bags or climb 3 flights of stairs without needing to stop for a breathless break. If this targeted, science-backed approach to reclaiming your strength resonates with you and you want more straightforward expert strategies just like this, please take a moment right now to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments which of these cheeses you'll be adding to your grocery list this week. We're not throwing hypotheticals at you here. This isn't some academic discussion locked away in a dusty library that never sees the light of day. This is the real-world playbook, the exact battle-tested protocol that we deploy with incredible success. Think of it like a finely tuned, top-of-the-line NASCAR engine. It's designed for maximum biological efficiency and speed, ensuring we minimize friction and maximize output. We've used this same strategic framework with literally hundreds of our most resilient patients, specifically those folks hitting the 75+ milestone, and the results consistently blow the doors off the competition. Why? Because it drives measurable, tangible improvement faster and more powerfully than any other methodology we've ever rigorously stress tested or studied in clinical settings. When you adhere to this, you can literally start to feel the difference kicking in, that subtle but profound lift in energy and mental clarity when you wake up in the morning, ready to truly engage with your day. Getting this kind of deep dive, precise, evidence-based health knowledge, stuff that is scientifically sound and actually moves the needle in your quality of life, is our absolute mission. We treat this information like gold, refining it so it's easy for you to digest and implement immediately. It's the cornerstone of what we strive to deliver straight to your screen every single week right here on Much More Health. We're cutting through all the confusing health noise and delivering only the critical, actionable intelligence you need to thrive. Now, before you take off, I need to hear from you. We're constantly optimizing our content, striving to be the absolute best resource in your personal health journey, and authentic feedback is absolutely essential for our navigation. Did this video hit the mark for you? Did we deliver the actionable value you needed? Drop us a comment right now and give us a rating from 0 to 10. Think of that score as your GPS signal. It lets us know definitively whether we are on the right track, delivering the specific, impactful content that truly resonates and helps you live a fuller, healthier life. We appreciate you being part of the community.